The Denver Broncos are going to be legitimate Super Bowl contenders in 2022, and their efforts are going to start with their revamped passing game and top 5 quarterback Russell Wilson. Russ coming in literally changes the game for the Broncos. Not only will they have a shot at the Super Bowl this season, but their talented receiving options now become potentially top-tier wide receiver options, specifically Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. One of the biggest debates that I've seen all of this offseason has been revolved around which of the Broncos' top 2 wide receivers will be the better fantasy option moving forward, and I'm here to provide you an answer to this debate. So who will be the better fantasy wide receiver in 2022? Courtland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy? I'm about to get into that right now, but first make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and watch till the very end. So I like to go one at a time in these, so let's go ahead and start out with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is the third-year first-round wide receiver whose career has been disappointing between bad quarterback play and injuries. Jeudy is someone that I personally loved coming out of college in 2020, and I still do believe that he has a bright future. Jeudy is a spectacular route runner with the speed and ability to burn you deep, and we've seen flashes of it during his career, but nothing has been consistent. Jeudy is still also only 23 years old, who now will be healthy to start the season, and now he has a top 5 quarterback. The ceiling is really high for Jeudy, and I do think that he will play very well, although there are concerns that I have, so I will address those right now. One of the main things that I addressed in my Drake London versus George Pickens video I just did the other day was the importance for a young wide receiver to have a good, stable quarterback to begin his career. Some of the most successful young wide receivers have either stability or a good level of quarterback play to begin their career. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, and T. Higgins are all recent examples of this right here, as all of those players either had high-level quarterback play or stability at the position, or even both. Jeudy started his career off with a revolving door at quarterback, and I view that as a problem here. Although he does have Russell Wilson coming in to right the ship, as I've said, his first 2 seasons have honestly been a waste, so I don't view him above Sutton at all from that perspective. The other concern that I have is that the Broncos have considered long-term money to 2 of their other wide receivers currently. Both Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick signed long-term contracts not before Russell Wilson got traded to Denver, which could very well leave Jeudy as the odd man out not only after his rookie contract is up, but also in the pecking order this year. Teams like to get the most bang for their buck whenever they pay for a player, and Jerry Jeudy hasn't done much as it is in the NFL under his rookie contract. This is a real concern for me because the argument that Sutton will be the Denver's wide receiver 1 is a real argument just based off of this. Now, I personally don't think that Tim Patrick will receive more of Russ's attention than Jerry Jeudy will in this year, but I do think there is a strong chance that Sutton does, and this video is, after all, about Sutton versus Jeudy. Now it's time for me to get into Courtland Sutton. Much like Jeudy, I've always really liked Courtland Sutton. The 26-year-old, 6'4", 216-pound big play wide receiver is going into his 5th season in the NFL and is finally, for the first time, getting both stability and high-level quarterback play at the quarterback position. One of the things that I love most about Sutton personally is that in 2019, Sutton finished as the wide receiver 19 with a combination of a washed-up Joe Flacco and Drew Lock at quarterback. So that not only shows you that Sutton can shine through dysfunction, but it also shows you that his talent is elite and he has a very high ceiling. Now, he has Russell Wilson coming in to not only give him better throws, but to also give him one of the best deep balls in the entire NFL, because he has one of the best deep balls, if not the very best in the entire NFL. I believe that Russ and Sutton are going to light it up together personally. Although I do love Courtland Sutton, there are legitimate concerns about him as well, and so it's time for me to address those too. One of the main concerns with Sutton is that he's really only had one fantasy relevant season, and that was the one that I referenced in 2019. His other fantasy finishes have been as follows, so follow along right now. He was the wide receiver 48 in his rookie season, the wide receiver 182 in 2020, and the wide receiver 44 in 2021. So this particular subtopic to the main idea is an interesting one to me that I'd like to objectively assess with you guys, so let me start it off. So to me, finishing as the wide receiver 48 in your rookie season when you have no real answer at quarterback does not indicate to me that Sutton can't ball, so I don't mind that at all personally. In 2020, Sutton tore his ACL in the second game of the Broncos season, so he obviously missed the rest of the way, hence his wide receiver 182 finish. We can scratch this one away right here. Something I don't believe that is discussed enough in the NFL is when a player tears their ACLs, not only is it hard to physically come back from, but it's mentally hard to do it too. Essentially, when a player recovers physically from an ACL tear, that does not mean that they have recovered mentally from it and that they are going to come right back in as the player they were when they left off. So when Sutton finished as the wide receiver 44 in 2021, again with no good quarterback play to speak of, that still didn't bother me too much. Another player who struggled in their first full season coming off of an ACL tear was Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley tore his ACL in 2020 and disappointed in 2021 like Sutton did. So it's of my belief personally that both Sutton and Barkley are going to have rebound seasons in 2022, but Sutton in particular is set up to succeed in a big way. I could be wrong on the whole injury thing, but these are the reasons why I'm taking Courtland Sutton as the better fantasy wide receiver in 2022. Both Sutton and Jeudy are set up to succeed, but currently I have Sutton as a top 10 wide receiver in my rankings, while Jeudy is only top 24. I got Courtland Sutton over Jerry Jeudy all day long in fantasy this season. If you want to see my full top 10 wide receiver rankings, click on this video right here. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.